everybody, this is Martha Marie and you're watching A to J Connections. Welcome back to the second episode of Idol Timeline. It has been a while since we went back to the 1970s and talked about Pink Lady, Candies, and Momoe Yamaguchi, and today we are talking about the 80s. If you need a refresher about the 70s, go ahead, check the iCard here and the description below so you can rewatch that. In the 1980s, this is generally what is called the golden age of idols. Idols dominated the music scene in the 1980s and idol culture became more developed. In a single year, as many as 40 or 50 new idols would debut, but not a whole lot of them would make it to be successful. A few idols from that era, such as Seiko Matsuda, are still popular today. So we are going to start with the eternal idol. If you don't talk about Seiko Matsuda when you talk about 80s idols, it is heresy, because she is basically the defining idol of the golden age, and she's still releasing music today. Seiko used to hold all #1 records on the charts from 1983 to 2000, including groups, and to 2006, including solo artists. In 1980, Seiko Matsuda made her debut as a teen idol with her song Hadashi no Kisetsu, or Season of Bare Feet. Later in the same year, Kaze wa Akiiro, literally the wind is an autumn color, became the first of her 24 consecutive #1 hits on Japan's music charts. She shattered the former record of 9 consecutive singles, which was previously held by Pink Lady. Matsuda held the record for consecutive #1 singles by a female artist for 22 years, from 1988 until 2010. Matsuda was also the first person on the Oricon chart to have a single and an album debut at #1 in the same week. So far, this has only happened 3 times. In May 2011, the Oricon charts crowned her the #1 everlasting idol of all time. Her long-staying power is mainly due to her reinvention of herself. So there was a social phenomenon called mama idols, and idols who remain popular after having children. So she became a mama idol after she had her first child. She opened up a gift shop, created a management company, and mothers across Japan would copy her hairstyle, makeup, and fashion. Now, Matsuda also became a sort of songwriter, as she would start to write and compose songs for herself. The first time was when she wrote the lyrics for Chisana Love Song in 1983. This was followed by her first self-composed song, Canary. Now, all of the music and lyrics off of her 2007 album, Baby's Breath, were completely self-produced. Matsuda attempted to break into the North American market in the 1990s. So she scored a hit, actually, with the song The Right Combination, which was a duet with the New Kids on the Block singer Donnie Wahlberg. There are endless covers of Matsuda Seiko songs every year. Among the most popular are Diamond Eyes, Missing You, and Akai Sweet Pea. Seiko Matsuda still holds annual concerts, birthday and Christmas dinner shows. Even though her ticket sales are among the highest priced among Japanese artists, the shows still sell out every year. Like I said before, Matsuda is still making music, and her most recent album was called Daisy, which was released in June of 2017. On one end of the spectrum, you had Matsuda Seiko, the eternal idol, girl next door, very cute, very sweet, but her rival of sorts in the 1980s was on the opposite end of the spectrum, and that was Akina Nakamori. So Akina Nakamori was more of a mature, rebellious, deep powerhouse vocal, and that's what she was known for, and that's why she was pitted against Seiko Matsuda as her rival. Now, even though the media pitted them against each other, Nakamori expressed admiration of Matsuda, and they happened to really like each other, actually. Now, music-wise, her record company molded her to be a sort of successor of Momoe Yamaguchi, considering their music contained similar themes about heartbreaks, rebellion, desires to break away from the mold, and have a sort of rock and roll sound to it. Like Momoe Yamaguchi, Akina Nakamori passed the audition of Star Tanjo, and she made her debut in 1982 with the single Slow Motion. Her second single, Shoujo A, was nearly banned for its risque lyrics, and so this single actually did a little better than her first because people were curious as to what these lyrics were. Her next single, a ballad titled Second Love, became her best-selling single. This sentimental piece debuted at number 2, but reached number 1 on the charts the following week and stayed there for 9 weeks. Akina Nakamori kicked off 1985 with the single Mo Amour, a great success for her which debuted at the number 1 spot on the Oricon charts, selling 631,000 copies. This also won her the Grand Prix Award at the 27th Japan Record Awards. She became the youngest person at that time at age 20 to win that award. The next year, in 1986, at age 21, she released Desire Jonetsu, which also won the Grand Prix Award at the 28th Japan Record Awards. She became the youngest winner for 2 consecutive years, and that single sold 516,000 copies and debuted on the charts at number 1. In 1989, Akina's life took a darker turn. Her single Liar became her 19th number 1 single, which was rumored to reflect her feelings about her then boyfriend, Masahiko Kondo. News broke that she attempted suicide in his apartment in July of 1989 after he called off their engagement. Luckily, she was found in time and hospitalized. However, after that incident, she retreated from the public eye. Her return to the music scene in 1990 was met with curiosity but a little bit of skepticism. Her single Dear Friend debuted at number 1, and it seemed to be her only happy song that she released. Later, she returned to her melancholic style of song, but it didn't exactly go well in the public eye. Her next single, Mizu ni Sashita Hana, became her 21st Oricon number 1 single, but she never reached the number 1 position on the charts afterwards. Even though she is not reaching number 1 on the charts anymore, her live performances continue to be of high quality, and her vocals continue to improve. Nakamori was honored by the Japanese music critics as the 5th best voice in the country's recording history, 2 spots ahead of her supposed rival, Matsuda Seiko, who was at 7th place. The 80s were very much about solo idols, but near the end of the decade, one giant group became a huge success, and their disbandment marked the end of an era. That group was Onyanko Club. Onyanko Club debuted on April 1st, 1985 on their own Fuji TV variety show, Yuyake Nyan Nyan, with 11 high school girls selected from participants on the show All Night High School Girls Special. They also added multiple members throughout their career, and the total number of members equaled 52. With so many members in the group, some of the girls were broken off into smaller subgroups like Myangilas, Ushirogami Hikaretai, and Ushiroyobi Sasaregumi. The latter of the 2 groups provided the soundtrack to the popular 80s anime High School Kimengumi. There were also many Onyanko Club members who got popular and branched off to do solo activities, such as Shizuka Kudo, Sayuri Kokusho, and Yukiko Iwai. Onyanko Club first caught the public's attention with their debut single, Seira Fuku o Nugasanai de, or Don't Take Off My Sailor Suit. If you want some more information about this single and its impact on the industry, make sure you check out our 18 Plus Idols panel, which will be linked in the description box below. Now, 7 out of 10 of the Onyanko Club singles reached number 1 on the Oricon charts, making their short career very successful. Their final concert was on September 9th of 1987, and again, it marked the end of an era for the idol industry. The Onyanko Club members have reunited on television multiple times, most notably in 2002 for a reunion single, and they performed it on a special episode of Hey Hey Music Champ. Fun fact, Onyanko Club was produced by Akimoto Yasushi, who currently produces AKB48 and all of their sister groups in that franchise. After the 1980s, when the bubble era ended, idols took a back seat to artists in the music industry for a while, but there will be talk of that in the next video. So those are the 2 solo idols and the 1 idol group that I think were huge influences and very popular in the 1980s. I will link some of the songs I discussed in the description box below. If you are a fan of 80s idols and know some of their music, let me know. What songs are your favorites of these artists in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to A to J Connections for more videos about idols, gaming, anime, special interviews, and other great goodies. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Idol Timeline about the 1980s, and next time we'll be talking about the Idol Ice Age in the years of the late 80s to the early 1990s. Look forward to it. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next time.